Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to The Breakfast Show here on Sky News Monday morning. I want to take you to the Middle East, and there are concerns over widening tensions between Israel and Lebanon and the role the militant group Hezbollah is playing. Tom Fletcher is a former UK ambassador to Lebanon, joining us now. Hello to you, Ambassador. Just hearing from the Foreign Office within the last few minutes that they want embassy staff to get out of the country and telling Brits to leave while they can. How concerned are you about the latest situation in Lebanon?
Well, morning, Kay. I mean, it is troubling. It is worrying. These decisions are very difficult to take. They will have been taken trying to balance out a number of factors. These drills are well practiced. They'll know what they're doing. They've got a great team on the ground. But the fact that they are reducing the staff levels and asking Brits to leave if they can indicates a level of concern, obviously, at the direction this could go in.
Is it not just a matter of time before Hezbollah enters this war?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think people in Lebanon are very keen that they don't. And many of Hezbollah's own regions are very keen that they don't enter this war too. They'll be watching these pictures, the same pictures that we're seeing from Gaza. They'll be conscious of the damage that Israel could do to those civilian areas in southern Lebanon and beyond. And, you know, they remember what this is like. As the IDF commanders told Anthony Blinken just this week, every now and again, they like to mow the lawn, as they call it. It's a very chilling phrase in Lebanon and Gaza and beyond. And the Lebanese remember what that feels like. It means massive devastation to civilian areas. And almost everyone in Lebanon would rather not have that.
How well armed is Hezbollah in your experience?
They're very well armed, and they're even better armed now than they were in the period I was there, 2011 to 2015. More weapons have got in from Iran. They have a certain level of independence about whether or not they can use those. If Iran gives them a clear instruction, then they'll clearly have to go. But there's a negotiation back and forth. And I think what we're hearing from Hezbollah commanders and obviously from Hezbollah's leader last week, Hassan Nasrallah, is that they don't want this conflict to escalate across their border, that they would rather stay out. They know the deterrent effect of those weapons, but they'd rather not use them.
You say that, Mr. Ambassador, but the speech that you're referring to from the Hezbollah leader over the weekend also issued threats against Israel. So stopped short of declaring war, but was certainly very threatening towards Israel.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fairly classic Nasrallah speech. When he doesn't want to actually fight, he will dial up the rhetoric. And of course, the rhetoric was bellicose, but it's also reflecting massive anger on the streets, as you're seeing there, and among his constituencies and more widely in the region. But I heard very clearly between the lines of that speech a desire not to escalate this, not to enter the conflict at this stage. But things, you know, it's a tinderbox. You know, this could all change within the next hour. You know, if there are more strikes that hit more civilians on the ground like last night, then that anger will rise still further. But strategically, at this moment in time, neither Iran nor Hezbollah want that escalation.
What would be happening right now, Mr. Ambassador, in the embassy with the news from the Foreign Office that embassy staff are being taken out of the region?
They'll be calm. They'll be going through their plans. They'll have known that this calibration was possible, and they'll have been considering for several days, you know, what is the point? What's the trigger at which you have to start reducing embassy staff levels and asking Brits to leave? What they're doing is not moving straight to the more dramatic option, which is actually starting to evacuate Brits. That was something we had to consider during the Syrian war just across the border many times. And of course, many staff will be staying in country. I'm sure the ambassador will still be there. They'll have senior military, political personnel still involved. They've got brilliant local Lebanese teams supporting them as well. So they're not closing the embassy altogether, but they're just reducing their footprint and their risk.
We do have Brits who watch us in Lebanon. What would your advice be to them this morning?
I'd encourage them to follow that travel advice carefully, to make sure that people know where they are, to be aware that this can be dialed up at very short notice if that conflict does escalate across the border. So to think about all of their options. And yes, if the Foreign Office has encouraged them to leave by commercial means, then that's a pretty good option to take.
OK, Mr. Ambassador, we must leave it there. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you.
Thank you.